Think about this for a second. An entire nation's incredible growth, its cities just shooting up, industries booming, and it's all powered by one thing, dug out of the ground by hand. For South Korea, that thing was coal, the black diamond that literally fueled its modern miracle. But this story, it's not just about what was built. It's also about what got left behind.
So, what happens when that engine just stops? When the world moves on to a new fuel source and an entire industry, a whole way of life, and the memory of the people who powered a nation are sort of forgotten.
Well, that's where our story really kicks off. We're in the city of Mungyeong, and they have a pretty unique answer to that exact question. Now, this is not just any old museum. It's built on the exact spot of the Yunseong anthracite coal mine, which was once a total giant in Korean industry. And yeah, it does a great job explaining the history of coal, but its real mission, its heart, is all about remembering the people. It's about preserving the stories, the hardships, and the community of the miners who worked right on this very ground. So, to really get what this museum is all about, you gotta understand the mine it honors. The Yunseong mine has a story that basically mirrors all the ups and downs of modern Korean history.
The mine's history is really the story of modern Korea in a nutshell. It started during the Japanese colonial period. Then after the war, it became this state-run engine for rebuilding the entire country. It had its absolute peak in the mid-60s. But that progress, it came at a huge human cost. The work was just incredibly dangerous, with awful tragedies like the fire in 1979. And then, by the 90s, the world had moved on to oil and gas. The mine shut down, but just 5 years later, it was reborn with a totally new purpose: to remember.
But history isn't just about timelines and how many tons of coal were produced. It's about people. And this museum does something pretty amazing. It actually captures the feeling of what it was like to live in a coal mining town.
So, what was it really like? I mean, beyond the backbreaking work, what kind of community got built around this mine? Well, the museum answers that question by literally rebuilding the past. They've meticulously recreated a whole miners' village from the 60s and 70s, and it's these little details that tell the biggest story. For instance, after a shift, a stop at the public bathhouse wasn't a luxury. It was absolutely essential to scrub off layers and layers of coal dust. The butcher shop sold tons of pork, because a lot of miners believed the fat helped clear the dust from their lungs. And at the end of a long, hard day, everything revolved around the Jupo, the local pub. That was the place where the whole community could finally breathe and be together.
Even the housing tells you so much about the social ladder in town. For a regular miner, home was a tiny house. We're talking one room and a kitchen for the whole family, and you'd get your water from a shared community well. Now contrast that with a manager's house. 2 rooms, the incredible luxury of a private, even if basic, toilet, and a telephone, which was that critical link for company business. It's a pretty stark difference.
Okay, but one of the most surprising and frankly coolest details of life underground was the relationship between the miners and mice. They were allies, close friends even. It sounds weird, I know, but mice are super sensitive to toxic gases like methane. So if the mice were scurrying around, everything was fine. The air was safe. But if they suddenly disappeared, or worse, were found dead, the miners knew they had to get out, and get out fast. They were literally living, breathing gas detectors. Miners would even share your lunches with them as a thank you.
So life in the village is one thing, right? But the museum offers something else, something totally unique. A real journey into the earth itself.
This is where the experience gets incredibly real. You actually board this little spider train, and it doesn't take you into a replica, it takes you into the actual Yunseong mine shaft. As you go deeper into the mountain, you can feel the temperature just drop. You can breathe that cool, damp air. You're walking through the very same tunnels where miners worked for decades, and all around you are these dioramas showing them at work, drilling, eating their meals, facing the constant danger. It is an unbelievably powerful way to connect with that history.
But the story of Mungyeong doesn't just stop when the mine closes. Nope. The town found a truly unexpected second act, and it has everything to do with a completely different kind of production. And here is the town's brilliant modern pivot. Mungyeong went from producing the fuel for Korea's industrial engine to producing the fuel for its cultural one.
The same rugged, beautiful landscape that once hid all that coal now serves as the perfect backdrop for epic stories. It's amazing.
Right near the Coal Museum is the Mungyeong open set, and it is one of the biggest, most famous historical drama sets in the entire country. If you're a fan of K-dramas, you have absolutely seen this place. We're talking huge hits like the zombie thriller Kingdom, the epic romance The Red Sleeve. Countless others were filmed right here on these incredible sets of Joseon Dynasty palaces and villages.
It's really the perfect symbol for this town's whole journey. A place that was once defined by digging into its past to power the present is now using that same past to create stories for the future. Stories that are captivating people all over the world. You know, the story of Mungyeong really leaves us with a pretty powerful question. As industries rise and fall, we all make choices about what parts of our history to keep and what parts to, well, forget. It makes you think, what were the engines that powered your own community's growth, and how are those stories being remembered today? It's a question worth digging into.